Hey guys, welcome to Be Built by Broza. First thing I want to say is Happy New Year. 2019 is the first show we're doing in 2019. Happy New Year from myself, from Dave, and of course from Jay Cutler and Jay Cutler TV. So on today's show, I want to talk about a couple of things. The first thing is I want to talk about, since so many people, almost everybody who's been working out for a decent period of time has some type of shoulder issue. I get questions all the time about how to best warm up the shoulders before workouts. I've had shoulder issues, Dave has shoulder issues. So I'm going to show you guys a great way to warm up the shoulders, a real comprehensive shoulder workout to do before you actually do any upper body to get that shoulder joint all warmed up. Second thing is we're going to talk about calves. One of our fans of the show was very nice, left us a message on one of our shows after we talked about calves a little bit and said, hey, how about a more full workout for calves? Show us what you guys like to do for calves. So we're going to show you about 5 or 6 exercises that we like to do that maybe you could do as well to bring up the calves, and that's what we have for you today on Be Built by Broza. Okay, so the first exercise we're doing for calves today is actually on a hack squat machine that we have here at Gold's. We're turning it into a calf machine. So you can see the angle here. Form points to remember. Full range of motion is the first thing. A lot of people do short, choppy reps. Dave's going to a full stretch. You really want to stretch those calves out. And at the top, he's hitting a full squeeze, holding the contraction for a second before controlled lowering on the way down. On this one, the feet are close together. You're pointing the toes a little bit outward to hit the middle part. Get those real diamond calves. Okay, another movement that we use quite often is a seated calf raise. We've shown these before. Worth showing again. Dave's form on this movement. What we do is we lean our torso forward to get the center of gravity more over the calves, and also to keep us from pulling on the machine and cheating on each rep. There's a much harder way to do seated calf raise, and it works the soleus on the outer portion of the calf. Again, he's going to full stretch, good squeeze at the top. The movement's controlled all the way around, and today we're hitting somewhere between 8 and 13 reps. Great movement for the soleus. Okay, so another calf exercise we love to do. We almost love to do a calf press of some type in every workout, whether it be vertical, angled, or a straight on machine like this. And we're doing them one leg at a time today, isolating the calves a bit more, making sure that both sides are evenly developed. His foot is straight on in this movement. We're always changing foot angles. He's going a full stretch, getting a full contraction. Again, somewhere between 8 and 13 reps on this movement. Squeeze into the top. It's always great to do a unilateral calf movement, especially if you have weak calves. So here's another great machine to do calves on. You can see the angle here. He's leaning his torso forward on this machine. Gives you a really great stretch, so take advantage of the stretch at the bottom. Now, just want to point out all these movements we're doing. What I want to say is that you really want to just try to get different angles. Different foot positions, different torso angles from leaning back, leaning forward, straight up and down, calf press at different angles, just to make sure that you're hitting the calves and the muscle fibers in the calves completely and exhausting all of them. Especially for those that have weak calves. Of course, there are some guys who can just do some standing calf raises. And now, as you can see at the end, he's doing burns or partial reps, which is really a great technique at the end of a set, after you can't do full range motion, to just exhaust all the fibers, get as much lactic acid and blood in there as possible. Try that if you got some weak calves. So another calf movement that we love to use is the donkey calf raise. This is a great movement for building size in the calves. Hits the calves a little differently than the traditional standing calf raise. Now, if you don't have this machine in your gym, a donkey calf raise, you can still do it the old Arnold Schwarzenegger style of putting a training partner on your back, or maybe two. His toes are facing more inward in this movement to hit the outer portion of the calf. So what I want to get across to you guys is it's great to change the foot position, the toe position, from workout to workout or set to set to hit all the fibers of the calf. Okay, so we showed you guys a bunch of different calf movements that we do. We even do more than that, but those are 6 of our favorite. So what I want to let you know is that we don't do all of these exercises in every single workout. We would normally choose 2 or 3 movements. We only hit them for about 2 work sets each. That has nothing to do with the warm-ups that we may do. And what you want to do is basically pick, 3 different angles. Maybe do the soleus or the seated calf raise at each workout, and then pick 2 gastrocnemius movements, like a leg press, some type of standing calf raise. Change your foot positions, maybe 1 movement to do outer, put your feet outward, 1 movement your feet straight, 1 movement your feet inward. Like I said, 2 work sets of each. And you want to keep the repetitions somewhere between, I wouldn't go any lower than about 6. You can go as high as 20 on some movements. Vary the reps, maybe the first exercise, say, somewhere between 6 and 10 reps, maybe the second exercise, 11 to 15 reps, and then the last exercise, 16 to 20. So again, what we're looking for is variation, so we want to hit all the muscle fibers from various angles and also hit the different types of muscle fibers, everything from the fast twitch to the slow twitch, so you get complete development of the calves, and that's what works best if you have leg and calf. Okay, so what I'm doing here is rotations for the rotator cuff. What you want to do is you want to let the shoulder really hang, so it's almost feels like it's coming out of the joint. And you're going to rotate clockwise first, do anywhere between 8 and 15 repetitions around. Then you want to reverse it and go counterclockwise for about 8 to 15 repetitions. And you want to really feel the shoulder joint being pulled out, because you really want to stretch the shoulder joint out and make sure that rotator cuff is warmed up really well. Then we're going to go from the rotations to just swinging it back and forth with the hand in a neutral position, up and down. And this is a really great warm-up for the shoulders and the shoulder joint. Okay, so the second thing I like to do for shoulder warm-up, as you see a sequence here, I'm going to start off with bent over laterals. I'm going to have my palms facing back rather than to the side. I'm going to do 5 to 10 repetitions this way, just using a nice slow form. Then after the laterals in the bent position, I'm going to stand up straight, and I'm going to do side laterals again, 5 to 10 slow repetitions. I'm going to go from there to a front raise, bring the dumbbell straight out in front, again for 5 to 10 slow repetitions. And then I'm going to do 5 to 10 presses, and this is a full warm-up for the actual shoulder muscles and the exercises you're about to perform. So now what I'm doing here is directly working the rotator cuff. I'm doing external rotation for the shoulder. The form is very important on this movement. You want to make sure that the upper arm is parallel to the floor and it's straight out to the side. And you want to just rotate from the elbow, rotating backward up till the hand is pretty much pointing straight in front of you. This is a great warm-up for the rotator cuff and very, very important before every single shoulder workout. Okay, so after we've done external rotation, we also want to do internal rotation of the shoulder, again, for the rotator cuff. The form is basically the same, we're just doing the opposite motion. These 2 movements are very, very important before shoulder, chest, any upper body workout if you have shoulder problems.
All right, Merlin, first question of the new year. Who's going to be the lucky winner?
Well, first question was actually about soreness, muscle soreness, and the question was, could you bring to light why, basically when you train a body part, say on a Monday, you don't generally feel always sore on a Tuesday, but you start to feel the soreness set in on a Wednesday or Thursday. How come it's like, takes time for it to set in like that?
It's delayed. Yeah.
And is that normal or whatever? So it's actually perfectly normal. It's actually what is called DOMS, or delayed onset muscle soreness. And there's still a lot of debate. I don't think science has really unraveled exactly 100% why we get sore. Like sometimes it's attributed to fiber trauma, sometimes attributed to lactic acid buildup in the muscle, all different things. But I think science is still working on why we get sore and why it is delayed, but it is true that they actually call it, I think some people refer to it in the industry as muscle fever. So it's like the muscle fever sets in between 48 and 72 hours after training a body part. I think personally that it has a lot to do with mostly muscle fiber trauma, because it seems to me that when we do slow eccentric reps, really slow negatives, or do stretch under tension, like where we hold our stretch for 4 or 5 seconds under the tension of a weight, almost always brings about muscle soreness. But it doesn't always answer the question why you might bring about muscle soreness from just doing a brand new exercise that you've never done before, even if you don't do it that intensely. Sometimes you get sore, and sometimes you get sore, of course, when you come back from training and you haven't trained for a while. So there's still some debate going on. But yeah, it's perfectly normal. That's why it's called delayed onset muscle soreness, and most of the time it will occur 48 to 72 hours after. So that's how it is. So we are in 2019. I wanted to mention a couple of things. I wanted to shout out to Allmax Nutrition, who I just signed with. I signed another contract with them, so I'm going to continue my work with Allmax Nutrition and the Lean and Mean Challenge, which is going to get bigger and better in 2019. I'm very, very excited to continue my work with Allmax. It's been a great experience so far, and I look forward to working with them so much more in the future. Also re-signed with Gasp Official, so I'll be repping their clothing line and their accessories. And I love their stuff. I always did, well before I was with them. I'm wearing it right now, and love that company, so I'm really glad to still be with them. And I want to mention a new venture as well that we'll probably talk more about, we'll show more about in future episodes. But I'm working with a company called PH2 Nutrition here in Los Angeles. They just opened up a new office in Santa Monica, a beautiful office in Santa Monica, and there's going to be a set of different types of nutritionists there, some for health ailments, some for general nutrition, and they asked me to come on as their performance nutritionist. So I'm going to be working with them and some of their clients, mostly in the celebrity, the industry, the entertainment world, and the high-powered CEO world and those kinds of things. Those are the kinds of clients that they have there, not so much really the bodybuilders and things like that. Of course, they're welcome as well. So I'm going to be working with them as well. I'm very, very excited about that.
So you're actually going to have an office in Santa Monica if people want to go see you?
Yes, I'll have an office in Santa Monica.
Nice.
And Kevin Libby is the gentleman who, that's his company, he started it, and he wants to have my company, Merlin, and Be Built International, in with them. So I'm going to be doing the performance nutrition and handling mostly the people who are getting ready for film or TV or
nice.
Those types of things, and doing a lot of physical transformations, very quick physical transformations, and basically the one who will get people ready for roles and that kind of stuff. So
awesome. That's
what I'll be handling. I'm very excited to work with PH2 and Kevin and Jennifer over there as well, and it should be great experience, and I hope that everybody's 2019 is going to be an amazing year.
Thanks, Biggie.